flora and fauna. Now we are going to talk about fauna. Do you know the type of the animals that can be found at fauna in Indonesia? Yes, mention it. Sebutkan. Fauna yang ada. Kedua-duanya. Now, good. Okay, today we are going to doing the reading, but reading comprehension. It's mean that critical reading. I want some of your friends to read about the what animal that can be found in Indonesia, alright? And then after that, you just listen and then read the question to your friend about the text that your friend read. Okay? Are you ready? Ready. Okay, good. Come on. Come here. Listen carefully. Okay. Come on. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Kyra and I'm from Saira. And today I'm going to tell you about one of the most fascinating reptiles in the world, the Komodo dragon. So let's explore more about this amazing creature. Komodo dragons, or its scientific name Varanus komodoensis, are the largest lizards currently living on this planet. They can reach a length of 3 meters and weigh slightly more than 70 kilograms. These apex predators are found on the islands of Komodo, Ica, Flores, and Gili-Trawangan in Indonesia. Apart from their impressive hunting and predatory skills, a keen interest in biology helps the creature thrive. Their armored scales are brown, gray, or green and achieve the natural camouflage that helps them in their hunting. Komodo dragons have long, muscular bodies and strong, powerful limbs. Their tails act as a lethal weapon. The forked tongues of the dragons can taste the air and pick up prey's scent from miles away. These creatures are also known to be carnivores in nature. Using their powerful limbs, they can catch water buffaloes and even small dragons. It can be very deceiving to know that Komodo dragons prefer slow movements as they tend to sprint at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. These creatures are also known to feed on deer and wild boars. Like most creatures, Komodo dragons are known to have some biological adaptations that help them to thrive. The most notable being of their venom, which many scientists falsely believe was due to bacteria from their saliva. Recent studies have shown that they have venom glands that produce toxins. Toxins that subsequently slow down the prey while causing rapid blood loss, leading to death. Besides being formidable carnivores, Komodo dragons are adept swimmers and can travel from island to island. They are solitary animals, only socializing for mating or large-scale animal feeding. They guard their 20 to 30 eggs by burying them in moats until the young ones emerge. As apex predators, Komodo dragons are important for the balance of ecosystems. Nonetheless, they face threats from human activities like habitat destruction and natural disasters, leading the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, to classify them as vulnerable. Efforts are being made to preserve these ancient reptiles and the wonderful island they live in. That's all for my presentation about Komodo dragons. I hope you learned something new about this incredible animal and why is it so important to protect it. But before I excuse myself, were there any questions?
Okay, wait. After you listen about what your friend say about the report text, so do you understand what does it mean? What is the content of the text? About the okay, and then your friend asks you to make question to her. So want to ask? Somebody want to ask? Come on.
What is the lifespan of a Komodo dragon in the wild? A Komodo dragon can live up to 30 years in the wild.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, any others? Maybe? Come on.
What is the main threat to young Komodo dragons? Most young Komodo dragons are just being eaten by water turtles, so they spend much of their time early life by predatory trees.
Alright, good. And then, the leaders. Alright, Daniel.
Are they able to reproduce without a male partner? Yes, female Komodo dragons can give birth to their offspring without needing a male partner. It's a process called parthenogenesis. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your thanks about the However, I think that later you will find another interesting topic about the report text. Okay? Thank you. Be proud. Will tell about the report text. What the report text will you listen about orangutan? Because we are going to talk about the web.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Okay? Emma, your turn now.
Hello everyone, good morning. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Kalatania and I'm from class 9E. Today's topic is orangutans, which is Indonesian wildlife. Orangutan are great apes that naturally live only in tropical rainforests of Sumatra and Borneo. These two islands are home to three species: Sumatra orangutan, Pongo albuni, Tapanuli orangutan, Pongo tapanulensis, and Borneo orangutan, Pongo bigarudis. They spend most of their lives high up in the trees, feeding on fruits and leaves. Over the past few decades, orangutan population have dropped dramatically. According to the competition data, the Sumatran orangutan, which is in the early numbers more than 8,500, now has only about only about 10,100 individuals remaining. The Tapanuli orangutan, the rarest of all, has just around 800 left. Meanwhile, the Borneo orangutan, was numbering over 230,000, is now estimated at about 100,000 individuals. Recently, a heartwarming story emerged from Borneo, where a baby orangutan named Felix was rescued. At only 10 months old, Felix was 1 week after being confined in a small cage for 6 months. He suffered from fever and anemia. Now he is receiving intensive care at a rehabilitation center and will soon join a jungle school, where orangutans are taught essential survival skills before being released back into the wild. Oh yeah, do you know, I have a fun fact before I close this piece. Orangutans are the only breed of apes found outside Africa, and they share about 97% of their DNA with humans, making them one of our closest living relatives. How amazing! Felix's story and this unique fact remind us that protecting orangutans means more than just saving a species. It means preserving the forest that sustain countless other forms of life, including ourselves. By safeguarding their habitat, we're not only protecting the environment, but also searching the future of human life itself. Let us support conservation efforts so that future generations can still see orangutans living fully in their natural habitat.
Alright, so
That's all for me. Any question?
my question, how do you feel after you read that?
I feel so sad about
So do you think that the orangutan population start decreasing right now in the world, and especially in Indonesia? Alright, oh how beautiful, you will lose if you don't protect them. Okay, now I think that as the citizen of Indonesia, we have to keep the population of the orangutan, yeah, in Indonesia. So I think that we have to wear and then take care of them. Okay? Now, somebody want to ask question maybe? Alright, this one, nah.
Okay, what can you describe the typical weight and strength of an adult female and male orangutan?
Orangutans are very large, with males ranging up to 150 centimeters
150 centimeters, that's right, and then?
and between 50 to 100 kilograms. Female orangutans are smaller than males, starting around 120 centimeters and the weight between 30 and until 50 kilograms.
Alright, okay? Alright, any others maybe? Come on. Ini?
Okay, Kara, what does it mean when scientists are orangutan share about 97% with others than every humans? It means humans and orangutans belong to the same family, Hominidae. However, they have different genus. Orangutan belong to the genus Homo, while humans belong to the Homo. Okay.
Okay, and then the last question. Come on. Ani, come on.
Okay, what is the special about the way orangutan have friends to gorilla or chimpanzees? They spawn most of their lives in trees and are the most tree-dwelling of all reptiles. Thank you.
Okay, Kela, can you give me conclusion about your text about orangutan, conclusion, kesimpulannya apa? Come on. We have to protect them, and then come on.
Orangutan in Indonesia has dropped dramatically. The population is dropped, and that's why they need to protect them, and
Protect them, and then.
the habitat is comfortable for them.
Alright, thank you Kayla. Kayla. Alhamdulillah, we have talked about orangutan and Komodo dragon. Okay, now the last, Eman Brian. Can you share with us about the information that can you get from the Google or the internet maybe? Come on, let's start.
Alright, good morning everyone. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Brian Gregory Nassos Covers. I'm from class 9D, and today I'm going to be talking about the Bekantan, the big-nosed monkey.
Big last one, okay?
Did you know in the island of Borneo, or as we know as Kalimantan, it holds a wealth of biodiversity. One of Kalimantan's rich biodiversity is the proboscis monkey, or as we know as the Bekantan. Currently, proboscis monkey population is at an alarming low as of only 20,000 remaining on the island of Borneo, Sabah, Brunei, and also Sarawak. The primate species is rare and endemic to Kalimantan. It is currently categorized as the conservation species of the ICUN Red List, or as we know, it's only endangered. The proboscis monkey has name in various countries. The British call them the long-nosed monkey, or the proboscis monkey. In Malaysia, it's called Kera Bekantan. And in Brunei, we just call it Bekantan. And in Netherlands, they call it Neusa. A striking characteristic beside their large noses is the physical difference between the males and the females. Male proboscis monkey have more larger nose than the females, but that doesn't mean the female have smaller noses than his regular monkey. Male proboscis monkeys' noses are larger, so they appear to hang over their mouth. When they want to eat, the proboscis monkeys must push their nose out of the way so they can accommodate for food. Furthermore, proboscis monkeys are adept at displaying expression in various situations. Their nose will swell red when they turn angry or happy. When threatened, they emit a loud warning sound similar to a car horn, and their noses protrude straight up when proboscis monkeys' noses are as resonated when they're vocalized. The proboscis monkey also has a large stomach and allows its digestive system to consume leaf as its primary food source. Inside the stomachs are compartments with cellulose digesting bacteria. The bacteria help digest the leaves and neutralize the toxins. The proboscis monkey's stomach is a quarter of its body weight. The height of a proboscis monkey is around 66 to 17 centimeters, and they weigh up to 16 to 23 kilograms. That's only for the male, while the female height is around 53 to 61 centimeters, and they weigh up to 7 and only 11 kilograms. The proboscis monkey tail is as long as their body. Also, this animal is known to live in groups of 12 to 27 individuals, with some having 60 to 80 males and females. The proboscis monkey group lack of heresy. The proboscis monkey social system has two levels. One group consists entirely of males, and one group consisting of males, and one group consisting of males and females. Cubs, juveniles, and adult males, and juvenile males leave the group at around the age of 18 months and join an all-male group. The proboscis monkey fur is reddish brown on its back and shoulders, extending down to its midsection. Its chest is cream-colored, as it's supposed to call it color, extending from its neck and waist to its rump and tail. The proboscis monkey's arm and legs are long, with gray skin on its hands and feet. Orange highlights practically cover its shoulder, and a dark red feather cap covered on its head. Now, that's not the only unique feature of proboscis monkeys. Their faces are also distinct, with red flash with small intelligent brown eyes. Their ears are small and set straight on their heads. Did you know that the proboscis monkey give birth to one baby per season? Their gestation period is approximately 166 days. They typically give birth at night, and newborns have blue faces and scars, almost black fur. At 3 to 4 months of age, the baby monkeys undergo a color change. That indicates that they are fully grown. Frobisher's monkeys belong to the Nasalis genus, which has two subspecies, Nasalis ravacus and Nasalis ravacus orientalis. Nasalis ravacus lives in almost all parts of the islands of Borneo, while Nasalis ravacus orientalis live in the northern part of the island. Frobisher's monkeys are known as elusive animals, preferring to live in mixed forests, mangrove forests, lowland forests near fresh water and rivers. These animals prefer to rest and sleep in forests near waterways. They generally avoid open areas or human settlements. That's all about Bacanta. Before I end this presentation about Bacanta, do we have any questions?
Okay. My question is, okay, can you describe about the feature of the Bacanta itself? Come on.
The feature is that they have big noses, while the female have more smaller noses, not as small as monkeys.
And how about the nose?
Well, the nose are big. Well, the males, when they want to eat, they have to push their nose out so they can accommodate for food.
All right, good. Okay. Still interesting? All right, of course. Now, who want to give question? Come on. Come on. Any others? Okay, Hans, come on.
What is the main estimated remaining population in Borneo, Sabah, Brunei, and Sarawak?
There's only about like 20,000 Bacantans left.
20,000?
20,000 Bacantans left in Borneo, Sabah, Brunei, and Sarawak.
Sabah, Brunei, and Sarawak. That's right. Okay. Any others, maybe? Come on. Question, come on.
Brian, my question. What unique physical feature differentiates male and female proboscis monkeys?
So the male proboscis monkeys have more larger nose than the female ones.
All right. And then, last. Come on, Nancy. Come on.
Okay, Brian, I want to ask you, where do proboscis monkey prefers to sleep and rest? Thank you.
They prefer to sleep and rest in trees because they are the type of animals that like to sleep in trees, mainly in forests and mangrove forests.
Okay, what is your conclusion about your test for Bacanta? Give me some resume or maybe conclusion from that. Come on.
So my conclusion from this text about Bacanta, we need to, just maybe protect Bacanta because they are endangered species. We need to protect the forest, don't destroy them. And overall, just protect the Bacanta and their forest. So
Because in danger, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have to protect them and then we have to know about the kind of the animal that live in Indonesia, originally from Indonesia. Okay, any other question? No? Okay, come on, give applause to you. Okay, students, today is the end of our studies. Hopefully that you have to protect the animal, wildlife animal that come from Indonesia especially, and then don't forget you have to take care of them. Don't make them endangered because it's our reach, okay? Okay, now, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.